There was a man who always felt late. Not late for appointments, not late for work, but late in life. It was a quiet, constant pressure that followed him everywhere he went. He walked fast. He spoke quickly. He made decisions in an instant. In his mind, speed was strength, and for a while, it seemed like he was right. He finished his tasks faster than anyone else. He would answer questions before they were even fully asked. He moved before hesitation had a chance to creep in. People around him saw this and described him as driven, a real go-getter. But on the inside, something felt deeply unstable. The man rarely felt present. His mind was always jumping ahead, a constant race to the next task, the next goal, the next outcome. He was living perpetually in the near future, always chasing something just out of reach. When a problem came up, his reaction was immediate. When a decision was needed, he rushed it without a second thought. To him, waiting was a sign of weakness. Pausing felt dangerous, like giving up ground. At first, this habit of rushing seemed to save him time. But slowly, insidiously, it began to cost him far more than he was saving. He started to misunderstand people because he wasn't truly listening. He missed crucial details in his work. He made decisions that he would later question, filled with regret. A trail of small mistakes followed him quietly, like a shadow he couldn't shake. The man started to notice something strange. The faster he moved, the less control he actually felt. His life, which was supposed to be streamlined and efficient, felt chaotic and reactive. One day, he found himself watching someone else, a colleague, perhaps. This person moved slowly. They spoke with a calm, deliberate rhythm. They considered their decisions carefully. This person wasn't lazy or unproductive. They simply did not rush. While everyone else around them was panicking during a crisis, this person was observing. While others were reacting impulsively, this person waited. And somehow, things always seemed to work out for them. The outcomes consistently favored their thoughtful approach. The rushing man was confused. How can someone so slow always seem to get ahead? He wondered. This question lingered in his mind, and for the first time, he decided to slow down just enough to pay attention, to truly observe. What he noticed was a revelation. When urgency entered a situation, clarity immediately left. He saw it everywhere. People started speaking louder, but their thinking became shallower. They acted faster, but their understanding of the situation diminished. Urgency created a kind of noise, a chaotic static that hid mistakes and obscured the truth. He saw it in his own life so clearly now. Every single rushed decision he had ever made carried a hidden cost. It wasn't always obvious right away, but the bill always came due. Urgency had shortened his perspective, giving him tunnel vision. It forced him into choices without allowing for any real reflection. Then, a deeply uncomfortable realization hit him. His urgency wasn't about speed or efficiency. It was about fear. It was the fear of missing out, the fear of falling behind, the fear of losing control. He had spent years confusing frantic motion with genuine progress. One evening, the man decided to do something radical. He sat down and did nothing. No plans, no tasks, no urgency, no movement. He just sat in the stillness. At first, the discomfort was almost unbearable. His mind screamed for something to do, something to fix, something to rush toward. It was a withdrawal, but he stayed with it. He just sat. Slowly, gradually, the frantic thoughts began to soften. The immense pressure he always felt started to ease, and in that quiet space, clarity began to return. He started to understand something profound about his own behavior. Rushing feels productive. It gives you the illusion of accomplishment. But what it really does is steal your awareness. When people rush, they stop listening not just to others, but to their own intuition. They stop noticing the subtle cues and details around them. They stop thinking deeply about the consequences of their actions. The man remembered so many moments, so many lost opportunities. He hadn't lost them because he was too slow, but because he was too fast. He had interrupted people, assuming he knew what they were going to say. He had made assumptions instead of asking questions. He had made his decision long before he had a full understanding of the problem. Speed had been his shield, protecting him from the discomfort of uncertainty. But that same shield had also blocked out wisdom. So, he began to experiment. Whenever he felt that familiar wave of urgency start to build, he would consciously pause, just for a moment. He'd take a deep breath. He'd observe the situation without immediately reacting. At first, it felt completely unnatural. It was uncomfortable, and at times, it even felt risky, like he was willingly falling behind. But something surprising happened as he practiced this. Pause situations became clearer. People, no longer feeling rushed by him, revealed more of their thoughts. Potential mistakes became visible to him before they ever happened. The pause gave him foresight. He noticed something else, too. The people who rushed were always trying to control the outcome. But the people who waited, who paused, seemed to understand the outcome. They saw the whole picture. Waiting didn't mean doing nothing. It meant seeing more. It meant gathering more information before acting. He finally realized why a rushed approach almost always loses in the long run. Rushing reacts to appearances, to the surface level of a problem. Calmness, on the other hand, responds to the underlying reality. The man began to move through his life differently. He still worked hard. He still took action. But now, he chose his timing with care and precision. Urgency no longer had a grip on him. Others noticed the change. His words seemed to carry more weight. His decisions were more sound and had a lasting impact. His very presence felt stronger, more grounded. He was no longer just fast. He was precise. And in this new way of being, the man learned the final truth. Speed is only useful when your direction is clear, but urgency is incredibly dangerous when clarity is missing. Most people rush because they are afraid to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty. But that uncertainty, that uncomfortable space of not knowing, is where true understanding is born. Those who rush are trying to escape discomfort. Those who learn to wait, to be still within it, transform that discomfort into powerful insight. The man no longer felt late. He had stopped chasing time. Instead, he had learned to align with it. And he understood a quiet, powerful secret. People who rush don't lose because they move fast. They lose because they move without seeing. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, Consider subscribing for more reflections on living a more intentional life.